Well, it's been a little bit delayed, but we're here for the next episode of NASCAR Hot Take. Yes, you do see the door. I think that might be the first time that the door's ever gotten a cameo in any of these. But yeah. So episode 5, NASCAR Hot Take. This is one. It's going to be about Atlanta. I've been wanting to do this for a while, for quite some time. Uh, ever since the race ended, I've been wanting to get it done, so that way we could obviously that way I could cover it, and then I don't know, man. Hang on. Uh, but yeah, so how did I feel about Atlanta? I did reactions to this new Atlanta configuration, w- uh, where you take cars with the super speedway package, you put them with the intermediate setups, and you take them to an intermediate track that you're trying to get to behave like a super speedway. Um, when this was first announced, I think late last year, I didn't know how to feel about it when the track was finished and they were doing tire testing there. I still didn't know how to feel about it. And then once they waved the green flag for all 3 races, I just didn't know how to feel about it. And just when I was watching the racing and just watching pretty much all of this unfold, I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure how to feel about it. But to be honest with you, I didn't think this was the worst race, but I also didn't think it was all that good. I feel they didn't really. I just thinking about it for letting it kind of fester for a few days. I just kind of think they really didn't. They kind of gotten gotten the point nailed down of they wanted plate racing on a mile-and-a-half track, but as far as the the execution, with the type of racing that we've seen, where it was just all too wide and no one else behind first or second place could really get in an advantage. Um, like the only person that would get the advantage is if second place uh drifted back, so that way they can get a run from the third place car, and then that would propel them to the leader, so that way they can do slingshot engage move, and then off they go. That's really the only type of passing that I've managed to see throughout the whole time. Uh, yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. At times it was actually pretty entertaining to watch. Um, and then also another thing to throw in there that I really didn't like, obviously, was the tire failures. Ross Chastain leading the race, right rear tire goes down. Let's see who else. Tyler Reddick. I don't know if he was leading the race or not, but either way, right rear tire goes down. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. I think he was leading. Right rear tire goes down. Right rear tires have been like really played an Achilles heel to this entire deal. And I think even Stenhouse was playing an Achilles heel. Even played an Achilles heel a couple times. One moment, Justin Haley's leading. The next, Ricky Stenhouse literally pulls up to the back bumper, gets into him, and moves him out of the way, almost causing an incident. Uncalled for, but at the same time, I mean, to be fair, there have also been other drivers that are that have been aggressive. But on the other hand, not anybody else like Ricky Stenhouse. Hey, Byron was one of the drivers that dominated the nearly the whole race. What felt like nobody else was leading. Even though there was other drivers that were leading, the only one that I really remember the most being out front was William Byron, and he won the race. Good for him. There was a wreck on the last lap. Christopher Bell, before the wreck unfolded, was trying to get second from Ross Chastain, and he put his tires below the double line. He got penalized for that and got sent to the last car in the lead lap, which I think was 23rd. But man, though, I still feel like I still feel like they need to get rid of that double line rule. If there was no double line rule, that wreck that happened right at the start finish line wouldn't have happened to begin with. And plus it's just something that's just extremely controversial. And man, I don't know, man. I really don't. Because like it's that double line rule sparks up so much debate and sparks up so much controversy. Just get rid of it. Listen to Dale Jr. Just get rid of it. I'm sorry, but I mean, I know he was benefited from the double line rule, the double yellow line rule at Talladega about 20 some years ago. But I feel like if Dale Jr. is one of the people that is saying get rid of the double yellow line rule, then I feel like you should get rid of it. Again, he is somebody that was heavily benefited from that double yellow line situation some time ago. And I don't know what else to really add on to that, but yet now he's saying just get rid of it. I feel like since he's looking at this from an announcer's perspective, looking down at the drivers that are having to worry about that double line rule, I think he might see the fans' perspective of why some people just want that double yellow line rule removed. I get it. I feel like I understand him in some fashion, Anyways, but as far as Atlanta, I don't know how to feel about it. I didn't think it was the worst race, but I didn't think it was all that good either. I'm kind of neutral on it. But we're going to COTA this weekend. COTA better be good this year. Last year, the only race that I feel like was the best one out of the 3 COTA races that were ran was the truck race. And that's the only race I feel like was the good one. Other than that, excuse me. I had a little bit of build up here. But anyways, other than that, the Xfinity race was all right, minus Kyle Busch winning. And then the Cup race, when you factor in just heavy rainfall and just the rain being kicked up into the air, or the water being kicked up into the air and creating a hazard for drivers to like see what's going on down the road, or a vision hazard, take Cole Custer and Martin Truex Jr. for example, in that scenario, as well as some other people, then there has to come a point where where there is a certain type of rain racing is just incredibly dangerous. So I feel like last year should be a really good example of what kind of rain racing is just extremely dangerous. If you were racing on a wet track with just just minimal precipitation, okay, fine, but don't put them out there where there's heavy rainfall and then eventual like thunderstorms coming on the way, like at some point down the road. You shouldn't have to do that. So hopefully NASCAR has learned something from last year that they can carry on over to this year, depending on what the weather's supposed to look like for COTA. this year. I'm hoping it's either clear, and if it's raining, hopefully the precipitation is just minimal. So that way it's not creating a vision hazard for the drivers. So that's really all I got to throw in there. So thank you for watching. If you like this, be sure to give it a like. If you haven't considered subscribing, I recommend you do so in order to keep up with some fine content coming out in the near future. That about does it for me. I'll see you in the next one.